Hello and welcome to Janjo Card Crafts. My name is Janet Vivian and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I would like to show you how I made some wobble cards. This is August 2020 and we are experiencing the COVID-19 pandemic. We have been in lockdown for 4 months and the government had just begun permitting various public places to open and start trading with restrictions such as 2 metre distancing and the wearing of masks. But the spike predicted for later this year has already begun, so any businesses that were due to open this month are now being told they can't open, and a few areas of England are back in lockdown. What a year it's been. Thank goodness we've had such beautiful weather. Anyway, enough of COVID, let's go over to my crafting table and begin. Okay, let's get crafting. Today I'm going to show you how to make spinner cards. That's what I've called them. A Christmas stamp set, but it can be used for other things as well, as I've shown with this new home card. And the one we're going to do today is something like this one. This is a Halloween card and the spinner is inside when you open it and the little cat spins. And then there's room for anybody's sentiments that they want to put inside. Okay, let's get making. The stamp set that I'm using this morning, the Ghoulish Goodies, can be found in the mini catalogue, which has a lot of Christmas stamp sets in, but also Halloween. So it's in this mini catalogue, which is the August to December 2020 mini catalogue, on page 55, and we've got there some examples of how to use the Ghoulish Goodies. You can buy little tins and then label them up and put sweeties or something inside for a gift. Okay. Right, so for this card, you're going to need, we're making this one, you're going to need the card base, which I've done in terracotta. What I tend to do is with the A4 paper, I cut it down the centre. So I cut it that way, along there, so I can make 2 cards out of one A4 sheet. And the measurements for this were 14.85 centimetres, 14.85 centimetres along the top, and 10.5 centimetres along the narrow side. And that works out at 5 1/8 inches across the top, 5 7/8 inches, and 4 1/8 inches across the shorter end. And then score at 10.5 along there, which I've already done, but we'll score down there to make a nice crisp fold. Okay, and then we shall also need the first mat, which is to go on the top of the card there, which is Night of Navy, and that is 5 1/2 inches by 3/4 of an inch, or 13.85 centimetres by 9.5 centimetres. And I've done 2 of those, one for the front and one for the inside of the card. So there's 2 of those. And then on top of that, we've got some Whisper White. That is 13 centimetres by 8.5 centimetres. 5 1/8 inches by 3 3/8 inches, and that's going to be on the top of there. And then I've also done another one for inside. And then for the ovals, for these oval shapes, I have used the dies from the Oval Layers dies, and I've used the plain one from there, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's number 7, and I also used the other one from here, which is the missing one from the larger dies there. So I've used those two for the oval shapes. So we need 2 of the terracotta and 2 white ones, which we're going to stamp on, 1 for there and 1 for there. If you haven't got these dies, you can use punches or any dies that you've got that'll fit on the page. We've then got 2 circles. That's a 2.5-inch circle and a 2-inch circle for the centre here, and for inside for the place where the spring's going to go. So that's for the centre. And what I've done is I've cut out from an old die set that I had, but you can choose whatever you want for the part where the cat or whichever, what I thought we might make the witch one and the guy with the spider for this one. So that's to go in there. So you need a scrap of terracotta for doing the circles and the ovals and the centre piece for the inside. And that was 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches. Okay, so that's all those. You also need the wobbler, which I bought a set of them from online from one of the craft shops that they're called Mini Wobbles Action Springs, and they've got a sticky paper on the front and the back, and they're just a curled up spring. If you haven't got those, or you can't get hold of them, if you get some thin wire and wrap it around a pencil, wrap it really tightly around a pencil and then stick it to some card, that should work. Okay. Right, so what we'll do first is attach the Night of Navy mat to the front and the one to the inside. So I'm going to use just a liquid glue. Get my glasses on for this so I can see what I'm doing. So just put a thin layer around the outside. Don't get too near the edge or it'll ooze out. A little bit down the middle. And then centre that on the front of the card. And the other one for the centre. I don't know if you can hear, but the birds are really twittering outside my workshop. I work in a summer house in the garden, and it's lovely to be able to work and hear the birds. I've got a couple of feeders in the garden, so I get lots of birds coming here feeding. That one. And we can put the inside white mat as well while we're doing this. One. Okay, so that's the main bits of the card ready. We'll put that to one side for a moment. And now we're going to work on this one. Now what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to use my stamps and do a background. So what I have on here is I've got the witch, the bats, the trees, and some pumpkins. So I'm going to do some stamping on here. So we'll use the tree, and the pumpkin, and what else did I use? And a spider. Okay, I have to get some blocks for the little bits that I'm stamping. I'll have a small one for the spider. And will that one fit? Yep. One for the tree. And another small one for the pumpkin. There we go. Now I've got a bit of scrap paper to stamp this on because I'm going to go over the edge. I don't want to get it all over the place. Right, so I'll just put the stamp set to one side for a moment. So for this we're going to use the Night of Navy, and for the trees and the spider, and then we're going to use the pumpkin pie for the pumpkin. So we'll start off with the largest one, the tree, and the Night of Navy. I don't want this too dark, but I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to try it out. Sorry, you can't see me on there, can you? Let's move these out of the way. Okay. Stamp it up. Yeah, that's fine. Just coming off the page a bit looks better. It looks more like you find on the DSPs that we buy, designer series papers. That one round in the corner. Okay, and then I clean my stamp, stamp it off of it so I don't get my chamois dirty, too dirty. It ends up really, really dirty, as you can see. And now we'll do the spider. Now I did the spider in a grey, so it wasn't quite as dark as the Night of Navy. I did that in smoky slate. And there we are. Actually, I've done those upside down. I think they should have come the other way, shouldn't they? Hanging down. I'll do a few different ways. Good. Okay, so that's that. And the pumpkin pie for the pumpkin. Right, now, okay. So now we need to attach that to the front of the card. Just make sure it's dry before attaching it. Right, I think that's fine. Now, just move those out of the way. Now, what I was going to do for the middle was use the witch with the cauldron. No, I'll do the bird in the cage for the middle one. And what else? We've got the most spectacular time of the year, and we can put to a frightfully good friend for our sentiments. Okay, now I'm going to use the Stamparatus to stamp those because I want to make sure we get a really good stamp, and if you use the Stamparatus it gives us a chance to do it again if it's not been successful the first time. Because these are rubber stamps with a spongy backing on them, we don't need the sponge mat in the Stamparatus, so I can take that out and put it to one side for now. And then I'm going to put a tiny little bit of glue on the back to attach this to the board here so it doesn't move. Put that there, and then the bird in its cage, position that on the circle. I think the circle's big enough for that. Then lift it up, and I'll just put the stamp set underneath to rest the lid on. Okay, so we're going to use Memento Black for this. Then we're going to emboss it so it stands out. Okay, so I'm first going to stamp it in black. Make sure I get a good colouring. Let's do it again. It's a bit fuzzy. That's better. I'm going to just let that dry a minute, and then I'm going to stamp it with the sticky embossing stamp pad. At the moment I'm using some old ones that I had that I needed to use up before I buy some more from Stampin'Up. So we need to clean the stamp first. I've got some cut up bits of chamois that I use for cleaning the stamps on my Stamparatus. So I'm just going to get rid of the black off there. Okay. And the good thing about the Stamparatus is I can now stamp the sticky embossing pad on, and it will be in exactly the same place, ready for me to emboss it. Before I do that, I'm going to use the embossing pad, which is an anti-static powder, providing it's dry, and that makes sure I don't, oh, I'm moving it here, make sure I don't get bits of embossing powder where I don't want them. Right, I hope I didn't move that too much. Okay. Let's just do another one just to make sure. Okay, let's clean my stamp. Take that up. going to use a clear embossing powder. Okay, so I'm going to carefully hold that with those. That's right, if you think you've got any around the edges, just use a little brush to get rid of it. Okay. Just leave that to one side because we're going to use that again later. So it's all melted. Yep, doesn't take very long. Okay. Now while we're at it, we'll just leave that to dry. And we'll do the small stamp as well now. So we were going to just put a little bit of on the back of there. Oh, wrong one. Open the door, it would help. Okay. And the "To a frightfully good friend" was what we're going to put on here. Make sure you get it in the centre. Okay. Now, I did that one in Night of Navy, so I'm going to do this one in Night of Navy instead of the black. I thought that's a dark enough colour. Okay. So, same as we did before. Stamp that up. The Night of Navy always gives a nice imprint. I'll just do another one just to be doubly sure. There we go. Wipe my stamp. Now I didn't emboss this one, so I'm not going to do the other one either, just so it matches up. Okay, so this one I'm just going to get up off here. Okay, take that out of the way now. And these two are to mount on these. Right, so what I did with this one is I put them on dimensionals. I stuck the orange one down to the base of it, down to the card, and then I put dimensionals on the back of these. So we need to just decide where we're going to put everything. Get our bird cage back. So that's going to go like that in the centre somewhere, and that one up there. That one maybe down there, move this across a bit. That's about right. Have them in the centre. Okay, so we'll put dimensionals on the back of these. I think I'll put the ones on there. That's for that one. Okay. Centre it the best you can. Okay. So I think we can glue those two down. We'll glue the middle one down first, I think. Oh, we want dimensionals on here as well. Put one in the centre. Okay, so that's going to go there. So I'll put some glue on that. All right, now in the centre. So we want to have a circle, and then we're going to stamp on this one. Let's get the guy in the black coat. That one. Move those out of the way. Get my Stampin'Up back. Just to make sure he's dry. Stick it back down again. Stick it at that side this time. Get my spider. I think we might need some sticky down that side too. Oops. I don't want to let go of my fingers. Okay, that should do. That up. We'll have that in the grey. Smoky slate. Oh, this one easily picks up around the edges. Let me just try that again. Be a bit more gentle. It's good. Don't need to press very hard with this one. There. Now, what we've got to also put on here are the words boo. Now, where are they going to fit? There we are. Yes, that will fit on there. So we'll do the the embossing of the other one first, the spider. There we go. Yep. Right. Just get rid of some of the powder. Okay. Now, so this one is going to go in the centre here, which on the one I made before has got a cat on. So we centre that in the middle, and then it gives room for anybody to write their comments on there. So I'll stick that down first. Dry it up a bit. The cap on. Okay, and that's going to go on there. So we need to put the spring on now. Okay, I think that's about dried. So now, I don't think there's a right and wrong way for this, but you have to peel the backing off. And what I found is it's better if you can kind of twist it for a little bit like that. And then you can get the... Oh, I've got my pokey tool. I think that's what I used last time. Slightly bend it, get the middle bit out first. There we go. And then that edge, and come on, I'll do that one first. Come on. There we go. Okay. So what I did was I found the centre of the card, so it's going up that way. Stick that in the centre. Press it down. And then take this one off. That's a bit easier, that one. Make sure we get this right in the centre. There we go. And it does come flat for, if you have to post the card, it comes nice and flat. So there we go. I open the card up and we've got our spinner in the centre. Now the only thing to do now is to decorate it with some embellishments, and I'll go and get some bits and pieces and tidy up and get back to you in a second. Okay, so we'll get some rhinestones, and I think we'll go with the black ones again, the medium size ones this time. I'm not putting the ribbon on this one, so we can put more rhinestones on. So let's have one. Ooh, one down there. And there. Another one at the other side. And put two on the bottom one. That one's lost its sticky. One there. One on there. And I think we'll have some little ones on around the bird cage. Maybe have one in the centre there. That would look good. If I can get it in the centre. There. There. Okay, there's the wobble card finished. I hope you enjoyed my video. Until next time, take care and bye.